Hi, Zubble1975, and today I'm doing a video to respond to a couple of messages I got recently. A few people asked me this. They asked me whether it was worth getting a home base or setting up a home base at Elite Dangerous. Now, I would say that it is. I run a fleet of about 10 or 11 ships at the moment. It tends to fluctuate between like 15 and then all the Lakons. I go through periods where I sell every ship that isn't Lakon because they annoy me, and I tend to go back to just all the Lakons. Then the two Lakons that I don't like, the Explorer and the Asp Scout, get sold and I get some different ships in again. So I sort of go through cycles of having different ships. And I have somewhere where I store all my stored parts, and I store all my ships that I don't use. If I go away and do power play, I leave the majority of my fleet there and I take a couple of key ships with me. In the old days you used to have to build a hauler taxi and travel backwards and forwards, transporting one ship at a time, using hauler taxis to get back there. So it was always a good idea to have your home base as somewhere with really good outfitting and a high-tech system, preferably Leon Rue, because you get a 15% discount on parts. Now with ship transport in the game, it's a little less important to have good outfitting in your home base, but it was always easier in the old days to build yourself a hauler taxi. Now my home has a real deficiency when it comes to outfitting, because I ignored all of this advice. I ignored all the sensible stuff, and I picked my home base solely and utterly based on the name. For those of you who don't know, we run a cockerel rescue sanctuary, so when my other half saw me floating outside a space station called Moorcock, she kind of said, this needs to be your home base. It fits with the cock in space motif. It's, you know, we run a cockerel rescue sanctuary, so we've always got Moorcock, and it just made sense. So I picked my base purely on name only, which means I live in a ridiculously it's like an almost bankrupt agricultural system in the arse end of nowhere with the worst outfitting possible. But it's my home, it's always been my home, and it will always remain my home. But I wouldn't recommend that as a route to take. I would always recommend you take high-tech, you know, get yourself in a high-tech system with good outfitting, and if you can, grab that discount. And like I say, make yourself a home, because there's reasons for doing it. When you get to know the factions around you, you make alliances with local factions, you'll get better missions, and it's just easier to have somewhere to return to, somewhere to store parts, and somewhere to store your ships. Even if it's just a dumping ground for ships, you know, it's always worth having somewhere you consider to be your home base. But anyway, that's it for this video. I picked the worst place possible. That's all. Thanks for watching.